to Rogues Gallery Live. This is episode number 22. We have a great panel tonight and hopefully some really great conversation as well. We have a first timer with us tonight. I'm really excited that he's here all the way. That's right, all the way from Colorado. It is Mr. X from the Xtreme Collectibles channel. Welcome.
Thank you, sir. I really appreciate you inviting me. I'm excited about tonight.
Absolutely. We're really glad to have you on. I'm a big fan of your channel. I'm amazed by how much amazing content you put out there. And so we'll talk about that here for maybe some people that haven't seen your channel. But I also want to introduce, as always, with us tonight, Mr. Mac Bain is with us from Mac Collections.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Hope everybody's week is going well.
Absolutely. Another amazing channel from Mac. Great reviews. Love your stuff as well. And a new team member for the Batman Statue Collector channel, Mr. Dan Default, all the way from BATCAVE North, Wayne Manor North.
What's up, everybody? Glad to be here. Thanks, Chris. Appreciate
Absolutely.
that.
Welcome. Dan just recently filmed a construction tour for us, a how-to video. So that'll be going up probably this weekend. Really excited to share that with everybody. I love creativity when it comes to your displays. And, you know, that's one thing I've always said for years is that it's really hard to find good displays because statues just don't fit in stuff you can buy off the shelves.
Yep.
Sometimes they can, but sometimes not, especially for the larger scale stuff. So I'm excited for everybody to see that video.
Awesome. Well, it was fun making it. I kind of felt a little bit like Bob the Builder or, you know, Tool Time Tim Allen or something like that. As I'm, you know, got the screwdriver out and, you know, it's just a little bit different, but hopefully people find it useful.
Absolutely. Well, I was waiting for you to break out the hard hat.
That's coming next.
There you go. There you go. Well, I mentioned the Xtreme Collectibles channel. Mr. X, this is the first time that you have been on this show. For those people that maybe might not be familiar with your channel, tell us a little bit about what you do and where people can find you.
So I just started the channel in early 2019, and I primarily did it because I'm a pretty big collector. So I had a lot of friends, you know, hey, you need to share your collection more. You need to do reviews because I'm you know, decently verbose, chatty. And so I started doing it. And as pretty much everybody can appreciate, it's kind of an addicting hobby to have a YouTube channel. You want to make more content. You want to get it out there. So yeah, over the last 9+ months, I've just graduated a little bit more. I've tried a few different things, as most YouTube collectors have, to really see what people, what kind of content they want, and some of it works really well, and some of it doesn't. So yeah, I really do it. It's kind of selfish. I do it for me because I enjoy it. But as Chris recently put up a video, it's very time consuming. It's very, very time consuming, which everyone here can attest to.
Yeah, absolutely. But that's what I think a lot of us that put content out, Mac, including you, and Dan, now you as well. It's just amazing how, like you said, it is addicting, but it becomes such a passion. Like you want to improve, you want to get better with all your videos, you want to put out stuff that people are going to enjoy and like. One thing that I really enjoy about your videos is your sense of humor. I laugh all the time. So that's always something really cool. And also I'm amazed by how many pieces you review and how many pieces you get in. They're incredible. What's it like to get so many pieces like that all the time into your collection?
So this morning, a few minutes ago, I shared with Chris, I had a buddy from out of town who I rarely see fly in, and he's like, hey, let's get together tonight. And so we got together early, and we may have had a few drinks, so I'm still going to be very docile here. But so I'm coming down. I'm like, I know some of the content we're going to talk about tonight. He's probably going to ask what it's like to open 4 or 5 new statues a week. I was toying with a lot of different answers, and here's the truth, guys. It's unbelievable. It's like being a kid every day of the week. I still get that feeling. I still get that excitement. The one disadvantage to it, because a few people have asked me this, is you automatically move on to the next piece. So you have that day or two, or maybe even up to a week of excitement about how amazing this piece is. And unless you put that back up on your table, or you're cleaning or redoing a display, you lose that interest in that piece very quickly. I don't want to say interest, but you don't appreciate it as much. But the newer pieces that keep coming in, you still feel that, you know, kid on Christmas morning every single time, and you still look at the art and the beauty with, you know, awe.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like a lot of times in doing reviews, I feel like I'm so worried about getting it unboxed, getting it filmed, then getting it edited and getting it out quickly, that I find that I don't take the time to appreciate the statues that I just got in. Mac, you feel the same way whenever you get statues?
Yeah, I feel pretty much the same. I'm not at the same upload schedule as you guys are, so I feel like I maybe have a little bit more time to, I guess, take a look at the piece and everything else. But yeah, I think whenever I get a new piece in, the other piece I just got kind of takes a backseat to the other piece. But yeah, I love opening up the statues. I love smelling them, and it is like it's Christmas, but then there's also kind of a level of work to it, because, you know, you want to, you know, film the best possible statue unboxing and reviews and try to put out good content. So, and doing that and editing videos for, you know, hours on end, and, you know, it's a process.
You know, it's interesting you said that. So I noticed that this New York Comic Con was my first con I ever filmed for, and I was lucky enough to get a exhibitor pass, so I got in there early. And I'm you know, just like everyone, I'm racing to video everything, and I didn't even take time to appreciate the statues. So it was, I think, on day 2. I'm sitting there just staring in awe at some of the XM pieces, some of their new Samurai and 6 scale that I haven't seen yet. And Cisco, Rebecca, she comes up to me and she's like, "What are you doing?" And I was just sitting there staring, because the last day and a half I'd been so busy, like Max said, trying to get the work done. You didn't take time to actually enjoy it.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. Yeah. Give a shout out to Cisco. Man, she does probably some of the best HD filming of conventions. Just amazing work. So if you ever haven't checked out her stuff, it's Cisco on YouTube. Really good stuff. You mentioned, Mr. X, that you appreciate it for a few days, but when you get 5 in a week, do you feel like a lot of pressure to like go quickly? Like, do you feel like you have to kind of burn through them?
So yes, but not because there's so many. That's kind of how I operate. My personal life and business life is very much like that. I'm a big multitasker. As you see, while you're speaking, you see me going to my computer. I'm actually editing a video I'm dropping tomorrow morning while I listen to you, because I'm a big multitasker. So I pretty much don't stop. Ever. So it's not just like that with statues, but yeah, like while I'm editing a video and even while I'm filming it, I've done a few behind the scenes stuff. I actually am like answering emails while I'm talking about the sculpt. That's just how I'm wired. Maybe I was never diagnosed with ADD, which I should have been, but I don't know.
That's awesome. Well, let me give a shout out real quick before we get started here. I want to give a shout out to some people in the chat. We've got Comic Galaxy, Vibe Into L, Edwin Diaz, Joe Caramello, Eric Bruno. Hopefully I said it right that time. I'm hoping. Wanda Quinn, LMNO Popsicle. Let's see. Master Hoarder, Master Pizza, Travis Billington, ATV Racer, hello. Oscar Gomez Leon, Impulse Collecting, Blue Van Zant, Wild Samurai, Lionheart. We've got Paradox Nerd, PJ in the house. Hey, PJ. Jesse Hernandez. If I haven't missed anybody, we'll see if anybody else comes in here as we go. Let me see if I can find it. Somebody had a good question.
So just so everyone's aware, Wild Samurai is blah annoyed. Same person.
There you go.
Who is?
I think it's his new name's Wild Samurai, which is badass.
Oh yeah,
I like it.
I like it.
Impulse
I know
collecting
his real
ass.
name, but he's hiding from the law, so I'm not allowed to say.
What YouTube's all about, right?
That's right.
Impulse collecting asks, question for the panel: is it hard for you when you sell a statue? It's a good question to start us off. What do you guys think? Are you pretty sentimental with your statues? Are you one of those people that say, "I will never sell"? What's it like for you guys?
So I've currently not sold any pieces that I've got currently out of the 45, 46, 47 pieces that I've collected here in the past 3 years. So I still got all of them. So I collect to actually what I like. So I don't just grab a piece because I guess hype, but I think I have a liking or a certain memory of a character that I guess is the reason why I collect a certain piece. So I haven't really found a reason to sell anything yet.
That's awesome. I can't believe that many pieces and you've held on to them. Do you?
Yeah. Have you seen this room, bro?
Yeah, I know. It's amazing.
It looks ridiculous.
Might be time for another room tour soon, right?
Yeah, I know you want it.
Yeah, that's right. I'm waiting.
I'm working on it.
Don't wait. Don't make me wait till 46.
Okay, I won't. I got to count them all to make sure I'm right on them.
How about Dan and Mr. X? What do you guys think? Is it hard to let stuff go?
I don't know. I like Mac. I haven't sold much. I was just looking around the room. I can really only recall selling one, at least one, quarter scale or larger. I sold one. I sold the Captain America Sideshow's Captain America Winter Soldier statue. Always liked that statue except for the portrait, and I just thought, I can make better use of the space with a better cap. I've got 2 of them now. I've got another one coming. So that one I parted with. But I have to tell you, the whole process made me nervous. I just thought, what if this person just accepts this, say, hey, it was broken, and then, this was quite a while ago. I sold it on eBay, which I probably wouldn't do today. A couple of years in now, being, with the statue community that's developed over YouTube and through Facebook. And there are plenty of other outlets where you can go to people that, and, get referrals and that kind of thing. I'd go that route now, but I don't ever really buy with any intention of selling. So.
Well, even with, Facebook, and sometimes even if people have references and things like that, it's still scary.
Oh, it's still scary. Absolutely.
Because it's such a crapshoot, and it's not because of the boxes. I really feel like it's because of how they're treated. Now you see these horror stories of people throwing packages over 6-foot fences, and it's just one of those things where it's unfortunate, but we're dealing with very heavy, expensive statues. So it is scary to sell things.
Mm-hmm.
I've got a great story about that in this. So I've got a fairly elaborate security system around my house, but I've got one spot at the next to part of where one of my garages is that's was kind of a blind spot. And when FedEx would come into the driveway to drop something off, they would almost invariably go to this one spot where they'd leave the box. And my wife happened to be home one day. The van comes down the driveway. She didn't really think too much of it. They're kind of here every day pretty much. And she watched the driver, and by the way, this box was a Batman black and white statue. Watched the driver roll their window down and drop it out of the driver's side window onto the road.
Oh man.
That's horrid.
She said he just kind of plopped it right out of the driver's side window and backed right away. So needless to say, now we have 2 cameras that hit that position. But then I made a complaint the whole bit. I thought, I don't know if this is in my best interest to do this or not, but I couldn't sit still for that. That was terrible.
Gosh, that's just awful.
Statue, miraculously, the statue was fine, but
Well, and I know that some people, they know that there's drop tests. You know, they know that they can, you know, it's probably what we don't see, them throwing it off the truck or the boat. You know, you can only imagine. You know,
Yeah.
It's awful. How about you, Mr. X? Is it hard for you to sell?
So I haven't sold pieces in a long time. It's been a couple years, and they were, you know, kind of at the start of my collecting. I've been collecting statues about 4 years, but recently I'm actually dropping a video in the next week and a half of pieces I am selling for different reasons. If you want to know why, catch the video. #shameless plug. But one of the things I'm doing before I'm boxing them up and taking photos, I'm actually reviewing ones I haven't reviewed before, just to kind of put in the queue. You know, I usually have 15 to 20 videos I haven't dropped, so I can drop those at any time if life gets busy, or, you know, like today I wasn't able to film anything. Well, actually, yeah, I was. I filmed something at 3 a.m. But it's as I'm reviewing each of these pieces, I do not want to sell them. Yeah. I was 100% positive. Okay, I can sell this guy, and I'm just falling back in love with it. So there is an attachment, whether it's just an appreciation for the piece or, you know, something sentimental. It is tough to sell.
So let me ask you this: if there has been a piece that you've sold, is there one that you regret?
No,
really wish you had back.
No, the first I sold about 15. I sold a lot of hot toys because that's how I started. So that I don't regret. And then I sold probably about a dozen statues a couple years ago, and none of those I really regret. I kind of just went nuts and bought like what was discounted on Sideshow's premium format stuff, which is usually the stuff that's discounted is not that good. So I have zero regrets, but I could see it moving forward because, you know, a big thing people question about me is eventually you're going to run out of money and space. Hopefully space before money, but eventually I'll have to make tough decisions. Mm-hmm. So,
yeah, absolutely. How about you, Dan?
Well, yeah, I mean, kind of same thing. I mean, I'm not, I certainly do not collect anywhere near the volume that Mr. X does.
I'm not sure very many people who does. I
might have even told this story on Gallery before, but I've got to say it with X on the air. So one of the things when I first discovered Mr. X's channel a while back, I remember saying to my son, happened to be home he's in college, and he happened to be home from college. I said, you've got to watch. He thinks I'm nuts, right? My kids think I'm nuts with all the collecting and the statues and the whole bit. And I said, they know I watch, you know, a ton of YouTube and the whole bit. And they're like, I said, but you got to watch this one guy. He's out of his mind. I said, he could buy a car every month with the money he spends on statues.
True story.
No, it's pretty funny. But no, I don't buy with the intention to part with really anything. I probably lean much more toward the camp of, I collect what I love. It's not an investment for me. It's simply, it's the appreciation of the art and the characters and the stories, and I just like to have it around me. So
yeah, yeah. So Mac, with your 45, have you sold any before?
No,
this group.
Nope. Everything that I've collected since my first statue, the Sideshow Red Hulk, I've had every piece since then. So I'm at this point now where I think if I start getting in anything else, I'm gonna have to start boxing some stuff up and putting it back in the storage to kind of, I guess, make space for new things until we move out of here. So, but I'm hoping to have a lot more room here in the next Mac Palace. But
I like that. That's great.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I mean, I just, like I said, when I get a piece, it's typically just, you know, it's because I have a connection with that character. So it's hard for me to sell a piece. I mean, I guess if there was a piece that came out that was maybe like a you know, that I thought was better, then maybe that I would be able to do that. But I don't buy with the intention to sell. That's cool. Or collect to the intention to sell. So, yeah.
So, John, whenever Dan was talking about, you know, getting so many pieces in, how does your family handle that? Are they real supportive? Do they have interest in your family or into your hobby as well?
No, they don't. So, let me preface this, even though I know she's not watching. I have the most amazing wife in the world. I am the luckiest guy on the planet, and that has nothing to do with my collecting. However, she hates it. She doesn't understand the value, the appreciation, the art. She doesn't get it. So she thinks it's a huge waste of money. But she is the reason she's the most amazing wife is she knows how much I enjoy it. So she, and I don't know how to politically correctly say this, but she keeps her mouth shut. The eye rolls happen every time she sees a new box. But yeah, she knows how happy it makes me, and she knows that there's a lot of other unhealthy habits out there that a lot of them cost even more money. So she supports me in that silently from afar. She supports me, and the kids think it's cool, but my children are in elementary and junior high, so their attention span is very, very low.
Yeah. I'll piggyback on that. I've got 2 kids. They're both in elementary school, and they like to see what I get in, but they could really care less about the the room. They do like to show it off to friends, like when friends come over, like, oh, look, my dad, he does YouTube videos, and oh, look at this. And then after the friends are gone, they could care less. But and my wife's the kind of the same way. She thinks they're cool, but she knows it makes me happy. Although, like the other day, she said she could tell when I'm stressed out because trying to figure out where to put stuff and what BATCAVE to make and stuff. So as much as I love this, it also stresses me out, I think, just as much sometimes doing all of this. But it's funny that you said that. How about you, Dan and Mac? How does your family support your addiction here?
You want to go, Dan, or
No, go ahead, Mac.
all right? So I have a teenage daughter, and she's okay with it. She doesn't really care about it, of course. Lady Mac, on the other hand, she hates when boxes arrive because she knows that she's gonna have to do some filming and unfortunately see another piece added down to the collection room. So I mean, she supports. I get the support for collecting and all that. Like, I could be doing a lot of other worse things, of course, spending money on stuff that is not very what's the word I'm looking for?
Healthy.
Yeah, healthy or something around there. But I think she gets it and she understands it. I mean, the best thing about it is having somebody that understands what you like to do, and hopefully they're in your corner. I like it. It's funny when you bring people down or see some people don't see this stuff in real life and they actually get a chance to see it. Sometimes when I bring family members down here and they see the stuff in person, their jaws just drop, and that's pretty funny. And then they like to get too close to it, and I always start sweating and think I'm going to have to eject somebody from the house, but
So
go ahead.
I had a story on that. So my parents live out of state, and they're they're in their late 70s, early 80s, and they come visit. And my father came and visited, and he hadn't visited in quite a while. And he saw the collection, and he really appreciated it. He's a big movie buff. He collects movie posters, actually, so he did appreciate it. And not only did he appreciate it, but he had no idea I had a YouTube channel. So I showed them a film of an extreme topic of me arguing with Richard Rider, and he didn't know who Richard Rider was. My mother had to tell him that that's your son. But he kept looking at the pieces. Particularly, I had Sideshow's original Alien maquette. He kept going back to that. I mean, he was here for 4 days, and he kept walking downstairs to check this out. And my parents raised me to celebrate your successes and take care of them. So I actually boxed that up and I put it in their car for their 9-hour drive back for him. He called me, and we don't talk very often, but he called me. He's like, what's this in my trunk? And he loved it so much, and he had no idea that this world even existed. But yeah, so to Mac's point, people who haven't seen them in person, they have no idea.
Yeah.
Well, do you find that it's like twofold though? Either they're really super impressed or they're super kind of creeped out.
Yeah. Like, what's this?
Well, first, I don't allow a lot of people here, but in my office, I have about 25 pieces, and I have in my main office, and I have about 105, 110 employees that work for me, and they love it, or they pretend to love it because I own the company, but one of the two. But I'll go in there, and I have an open door, so I don't shut it, and I've never had any issues. I'll go in there, and people are taking pictures, so I assume they really enjoy it.
Yeah,
that's awesome. How about you, Dan?
No, I'm. I guess what sounds like much like you guys. I mean, I've got my wife is the best. Period. She's absolutely awesome. Supports my craziness. I guess maybe the one difference there, we both really love kind of all things pop culture. We've been going to Comic-Cons for many, many years. We've been to San Diego, New York now a few times. We've Salt Lake, actually, Dallas, all the big ones. But she's super supportive. Like Mac, I get a little bit of the eye roll when the box lands on the front too. But because she knows it's a whole thing, the unboxing, and I'm like a kid. Whenever I get a box, it's like she's got to be a part of it. I'm like, you gotta come see this. She's like, I get it. It's really cool. Yeah. But she is super supportive. Though.
That's cool. Yeah. Well, my wife, we own a business, and she that's where I have all my stuff sent. So that way there's somebody to sign for it, because I'm at work during the day. And she's always so cool. Like, she'll send me the photo with the edition size, what number I got. And so that's really cool. I think that, she does get a kick out of that and knows that I'm anxious to see what I get. So, or that it's in one piece. So all of that stuff, but let me see. There was another good question here. Let me find
what the real end game goal, though. I saw this. Someone posted in the group the other day. Somebody's wife, as a surprise, bought him Prime One's Dark Knight Returns 3rd scale. Just a surprise.
That's awesome.
That's
wow.
Yeah.
That's the dream right there.
Wow.
Yes.
My wife always asks, like, what do you want? I'm like, Sideshow gift cards.
Yeah.
That's all good. But if she just bought me a statue, like, I would probably flip out.
Yeah, me too. I always think about sending a little message off to people like, why don't you just go ahead and buy me this statue?
Yeah. So unfortunately, they're not $20.
Yeah, I know. They see the price and they freak out.
Yes, they do.
Yeah, kind of like me. So Lionheart had a good question. He said, question for the panel. Can each of you go around and tell the chat how you all got into the hobby?
Let's see. Let me find it there. You want to start, Mac?
Yeah, I can start. I was at work one day, and I don't know what exactly happened. I was just looking around for like Red Hulk type of comics or material. And I ended up seeing the Red Hulk premium format from Sideshow. And I remember clicking on it and looking at the price. I think it was like $600 or $700 and thinking that there's absolutely no way that I'm going to be spending this type of money on whatever this is, because I'd never seen one in person. So I decided to go on and order it after a lot of thinking. And I put it on payment plan for the first time just because I was so shocked I was going to be paying that amount of money for something that I had no idea what it looked like and I had not really seen anything about before. So I got it in and I unboxed it. It actually came broken, my first piece ever to hit the leg was completely broken off of it. And I went through the process and contacted Sideshow. I was just being funny and was like, I didn't even know what an exclusive was at that time. So the first one that I got was the regular edition. So I found out what exclusives were and I just kind of played back with them and said, it'd be nice if you guys had maybe an exclusive that you guys could send me. Lo and behold, they did send a replacement and it was an exclusive. So my first piece ended up being a return and it was an exclusive. And after that, I didn't do a video on that statue. I ordered the Gladiator Hawk after that, and then after that, spending $700 to $800 on statues was not really a big deal to me anymore, and it snowballed into what you see behind me.
Great story. Great story. How about you, Mr. X?
Yeah, before that story, I do want to, it's like a marketing ploy. So I remember when we bought the home we're in, it's a large home. And it, of course, you know, we've been here 8 years. It was out of our price range by about 150,000 of what we wanted to spend, almost 200,000. But our realtor kind of, you know, crept up, and then eventually you accept the price. And then if you buy another home, it's not a big deal. That's how they trick you. Like once you spend like, you know, $700 on a statue, yeah, I can spend 1,000. Yeah, I can spend 1,200. It's just marketing genius. But first, I want to give a shout out to Mark F in the chat who's watching us, but he thinks it's very boring. I like to recognize those people because they help our ratings more than the fans do. Chris, you know that. And actually, I want to give a shout out. So Chris is a big channel, and every channel, regardless of your size, gets trolls and haters. Chris handles them really well. He handles them a lot better than I would have. So props to you, Chris. I've seen some responses. And,
I try.
You're very, yeah. You're a lot more emotionally mature than I am. But how I got into collecting. So I actually was in prison for about 12 years, and that's not true. But some people do that. No, back in 2012, we were living in Denver at the time, and my wife and I front row tickets to the AFC Championship of the Broncos versus the Pats. I got to see Peyton Manning versus Tom Brady, and the Broncos won, but they went to the Super Bowl and lost horribly. And my wife bought me an autographed helmet from the game of Peyton Manning, all of his receivers, Emmanuel Sanders, who, what the hell, they traded. John Elway just signed his death certificate. That's neither here nor there. But Emmanuel Sanders, Wes Welker, and Demaryius Thomas. So she got me this autographed helmet, and it was like my first thing I'd collected in probably about 15 years. And I got this case over it. It went over my fireplace. And about 2 months went by till there was another helmet by my favorite college team. And then there was, you know, a Mike Tyson signed belt and a Michael Jordan jersey. And I started collecting sports autograph memorabilia. And that graduated to movie autograph memorabilia. So like collages from Pulp Fiction. And I actually have a Dark Knight collage with a Heath Ledger autograph that was from a separate piece that I know Chris would love.
You have my attention. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then that actually graduated me into Hot Toys. I started finding these figures that were very, you know, lifelike and movie-like, and that, I mean, you can kind of guess how the progression went from there.
Absolutely, that's awesome. How about you, Dan?
Well, I skipped the football helmets, but went right to the Hot Toys. I discovered Hot Toys, I don't know, several years ago now. I mentioned going to the Comic-Cons. My wife and I discovered Hot Toys, and that was cool for a little bit until I just kept breaking them. They are for little plastic things, they are far more delicate than any of my statues, it seems. I can count on 2 fingers how many statues that I've, you know, clipped a corner, or, you know, it seems like it happens to all of us. But the Hot Toys, man, they just kept on breaking, and I don't know, they just I'm not really into posing them and all that stuff, and so I think I was actually still looking for Hot Toys, and I ended up stumbling on the Sideshow's quarter scale original Batman. So that was my first piece. I got that in, and it was, you know, kind of off to the races from there.
That's cool.
Yeah. Yep.
For me, I think it started like 2007. I had collected some small scale pieces, some Star Wars pieces, and things like that. But I remember specifically, I went from those little tiny Star Wars busts to the DC Collectibles had a Batman, and he was quarter scale. and he was like, there was a BATCAVE kind of base, and he was kind of stepping onto it. And I remember at a comic book shop, it was $250. And I remember my wife flipped out. She's like, there is no way in hell that we're going to, or you can even spend $250 on this thing. It's like, it was just mind blowing at the time. And then fast forward, maybe the next year, Dark Knight came out, and they had started coming out with all those hot toys, and the Joker, the sculpt. So like, I wanted anything Dark Knight. And so I had maybe 5 or 6 pieces. I had like the Jack Sparrow and some other ones that I was starting to collect. But then at the end of the day, again, nothing against hot toys, but I just felt like they were dolls. And I just felt awkward when people were looking at them, like coming over, like, why do you have these dolls? I don't know. It just felt weird to me. And so again, nothing against people that collect them, because I think they're amazing. Some of the best sculpts on the planet that Hot Toys delivers. But that kind of led into my first premium format, and it was actually the Captain Jack Sparrow that Sideshow did, the very first one. Quickly followed up then by the Joker back here, right here. And then like you said, that snowballed from there. And then, of course, once you start getting one scale, you kind of want a little bit bigger scale. And then when you have that scale, you want a little bit bigger scale. But I think I have fallen in love with 1/3. I think that's my favorite scale. It does take up a ton of room, as Matt knows, and as Dan and Mr. X knows. But I just feel like they're the perfect scale for the detail. Just amazing.
Chris, I got to tell you, I can blame you for Prime 1 in my collection, but I can also credit you with diverting me away from half scale. So I was heading down that path, looking at Batman half scale Prime 1s, and I think it was your video saying, it just. Someone, I don't know if it was you or your wife, somebody said that it looked like something you'd find at Walmart at Christmas.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my God, you're right. That's what it looks like.
Yeah. I still am disappointed with that, because the piece was so incredible and it looks so great. But just having it next to all of my other stuff, it just seemed so out of whack. It just didn't seem like it fit. If you had that piece just as a standalone piece and nothing else, I think it's perfect. But I quickly realized that and even having the half scale Ledger Joker, I mean, I don't have that piece anymore either. I did get the fan art piece from Queen Studios, and it is amazing. I know, John, you have that one too, and it's just outstanding. And congratulations on your new Terminator bust as well. That looks so good.
It's better than, and you know how good the Joker is. It's better than that.
Oh,
that's awesome. So I'm very excited about the future of the busts. I do really like the busts. I don't really like the ones with the torsos as much. I just feel like they should just be full scale if they're going to be like that to me. But I am excited about those busts. But I don't regret, like I never said which ones I regretted that I wish I had back. And that one was not one I wish I had back. I think the one I wish I had back, actually I bought it 3 times, was the original Avengers Hulk. I bought and sold that 3 times because I liked it. But my collection keeps changing. Somebody asked in the chat about how often do we change out our collections? And for me, it's not that often, but right now it is. But how about the rest of you guys? Is your collection pretty much stay put where it is, or like you said, as space has changed, you change it up every once in a while?
I say I move things around, and I'm going through a kind of a significant change right now. I had a fairly, when you talk about how we got into collecting, I guess I didn't mention a bigger part of what led me into the kind of the comic genre pieces, even though they were hot toys at the time, just to start, was I collected movie props for a long time. And those I bought and sold. Those would appreciate, some would appreciate a great deal. But I did that for a long time. And from there, when I first started collecting statues, I actually am a huge Spielberg fan. I had this wall of Jurassic Park and Indiana Jones pieces and those kinds of things. And over time, and as I focused my collection over the past few years, and decided I kind of wanted to go down the path and stick with my favorite character and group of characters in Batman mythos that my Spielberg space started to shrink, and so I had a real hard time in my brain moving anything into another room and actually have my collection, small. But I have made that leap. We have a fairly large basement, kind of walkout basement in our house, and my wife has kindly agreed. She said, "Go ahead, make that wall, that area your Spielberg." In my home office, which is what I'm sitting in now, where I have my Batman collection, there is no longer the Spielberg stuff. That is all moving to another room. So
that's more space.
Big move.
Yeah, that's right. I asked, everybody's between my two rooms that I'm trying to decide upon. Everybody's like, just take both rooms. And I asked my wife that. She said, no. You get your one Batcave. That's good. That's good.
Yep.
But how about you? How about you guys? Do you move your stuff very often?
I don't necessarily move any of my pieces around. I just kind of, I guess if I need some space, I may move a piece here or there to try to get it to fit. I'm really not trying to add anything else shelving wise down here until hopefully we're like I said, we're boxing up and moving out of here. But I think everything pretty much stays the same until maybe if I get like a quarter scale piece in, maybe I might move it in with into another spot with a Vesta or something. But everything pretty much is stayed the same here.
That's awesome. How about you, John?
So I do. I have detailed. I don't buy a piece until I know where it's going to go. For the most part, every once in a while, there's a small exception. So I actually have this. My tablet goes with me almost everywhere for many different reasons. And actually on here I have where everything's going to go, where it does. I have to update it like once a month because every collector out there knows this. It's always bigger than you thought it would be. It always is.
Yep.
That's what she said. And
I was waiting for it. Come on.
I was holding back. But it's always bigger than you think it would be. And you always have to change. At least me personally, I always have to change. Not always, but a lot I have to change where I thought it would go. So then I redo a whole display, and a 1 hour statue unboxing turns into a 3 hour shelf rearrange.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
So, Chris, I have one piece on my PO list that I am just completely deluding myself into thinking it's got to be smaller than they're saying. It's got to be small. And it is that Batman 0 year Prime 1 piece that it says on the site that it is 27 inches deep.
Yikes.
And I can't fathom that.
You think they mean long?
I think they mean long.
It's got to be, right?
I think if they're looking at the motorcycle head on, that they're thinking that's the depth. It has to be.
Yeah, it's got to be lost in translation there somewhere. I would think, because good Lord.
Yeah, right.
I mean, you're going to have to sit it on a table if that was the case.
Yeah, it's a huge footprint.
But you got to keep that. That's such a great piece.
Yeah, I'm a huge Capullo fan. Huge Capullo fan. I mean, I love that first 50 books of New 52 Batman. That's my favorite run. Some of my favorite Batman arcs across the board between that and Hush. But yeah, I got to keep that piece.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah,
I really like it. Speaking of that, what do you guys have anything coming in here soon? We're talking about it a little bit before the show, but any new pieces in the next couple weeks? Obviously, Mr. X, you do.
Yeah.
I come to me last, and I'll pull up my list. I'm taking care of an emergency right now, but
all right.
I've got the sculpted cape Hush Superman coming in here real soon.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Oh man, I bet you had to make a new spot for that, Mac.
Yeah, I don't know what I'm going to do with that. That was kind of like an impulse, but I'll figure out what
Aren't
I'm going to do
all?
with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, most of them are. I'm like, with me, I don't really think about it much. I just kind of grab it and try to figure it out as it comes in. But I've got a beast. Yeah, it does look
So
like a
big.
beast. Yeah, it's so big. I'm figuring it's going to be just like Hush Batman as far as base wise. Base wise, I think it's about the same as far as the base goes.
Yep.
But
He's so much taller though. Like he's like,
yeah, I know.
I'm like looking at mine up here, and I'm like, it is so massive.
Yeah, that Hush Batman is insane.
Crazy.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
I'll never forget when I unboxed that and I pulled that cape out and I was like, oh, this thing is insane.
Yeah, it's just well, it takes up practically the whole box.
Yeah, absolutely. So
it's crazy.
Yeah.
Well, my statue that I have coming in, it should be probably the beginning of next week, is the Prime 1 Hush Huntress. So I am excited about that. That was a piece that I was kind of debating about canceling. But at the end of the day, it's a beautiful statue. So I just want to have it for a while. I don't know if it's one that I'll keep forever. But I really like it. I think it's really well done. I think it's one of Prime 1's best pieces. So I'm excited to review that one and get it in. So stay tuned to the channel for that. I'm really happy about that one. So
yeah, that's a beautiful piece.
I think it's the sculpted cape. I got the sculpted cape because the Hush is sculpted. So I thought it would look odd if I had sculpted cape and then fabric. Yeah, I didn't think it'd look good together. So
yeah, I was just getting ready to ask you which one you picked up. So
so I'm excited, and I don't know when the fabric one will be available. It looks like Junior's getting his on Monday also.
Nice.
So that'll be fun.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Now, how about you, Mr. X? What do you think? What do you got?
So between now and the end of the month, this is what's supposed to come in, which you guys know only about 75% if that comes in. But I'm supposed to get, actually, I know this one's coming. Elite Creature Collectibles Mohawk Gremlin just shipped.
Mm-hmm.
I have a custom Surfer, a custom Psylocke, a custom Sinister on Throne, a custom Chibi X-Men diorama, a custom Hulk versus Old Man Logan, a custom Mike Myers, Prime 1 Snake Eyes I should get, a custom Magneto, Prime 1 Aquaman. I just got the shipping notice on that today, the 3rd scale Justice League line, and then a custom Fat Superman. It's supposed to come in by the end of the month.
A lot of custom pieces.
Well, those custom pieces are always delayed, always. So I would be happy if half of those came in, and half of those were probably supposed to come in last month.
Nice.
The timetables aren't like they are with Sideshow or Prime 1 on those.
Yeah, kind of a crapshoot.
They say it. It's ready to ship. Give us your money. Then you give it to them, and pray to God.
Yeah. We mentioned Sideshow. They're getting ready to have their big Spooktacular event. And I was talking with Dan the other day, and Dan came up with this question, great question. Kind of, for those of you that might not know what it is, basically it's like a week-long event that they run all sort of contests. They do giveaways. They also give out codes. In my group, also the Sideshow group, also the Darth Castle DCX group. Tim started a code group basically. So if you sign up in any of those groups, people are going to put codes in, and that way you can put the code in at Sideshow to get the rebates. Usually they're like $2 off, $3 off, $1 off, sometimes like 5 or 10, I think. It's been a while, but those points do add up, so it's worth it. So definitely check out those groups and sign up, because it's going to alert you every time that somebody puts a code in. And you have to be really quick about those codes because they only last for a couple minutes usually. Yeah. But also they say that they're going to have some product reveals as well. Is there anything you guys are hoping that comes out of the Spooktacular deal? Any pieces?
I'm pretty confident another X-Man will come out. And if I had to guess, I would say Storm or Nightcrawler.
Yeah.
Nice. Now, do you have any inside information from New York Comic Con?
They didn't like me there. Really? They were very rude to me. Sideshow doesn't like me.
Yeah.
I'm actually blocked from their Facebook group.
Oh, ouch. Well, I'm sorry to hear that. That sucks.
I cry every night.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Sideshow basically said, because I was hanging out with Mr. X, that I was forced. I was almost going to be banned as well. So, unfortunately,
dang, they actually said that to you?
no, they didn't.
Oh, okay.
Well, here's my thing. So they have Jugs, Rogue, and Gambit on Danger Room bases, right? Are there any more I'm not thinking of?
So Jugs, yeah, Rogue, and Gambit.
I
think that's all.
You can't tell me they're only doing 3 on Danger Room bases.
No,
there is at least 2, if not 5 more coming out. So I think it would be the perfect time, especially since they really didn't reveal much at NYCC. I'm pretty sure they're going to reveal an X-Man piece.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
I would really like to see another DC piece, obviously. I don't know. I was really surprised that there was no new pieces at New York, or they didn't have a Flash there, right? So, which was surprising. But I would love to see another villain. Everybody's still hoping for a Penguin or Riddler. So, I would love to see that. How about you, Dan?
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping for. I mean, I kind of a section of my collection room here that I've been kind of building out. I've been on a little bit of a quarter scale run here. I ordered the Bats Beyond, Scarecrow, Catwoman. Kind of hoping for a Joker. Joker. No, not Joker. Joker in third scale, please. No, quarter scale Riddler and Penguin. Third scale Prime 1 Joker, third scale Hush Joker. Third scale.
It's coming.
Yeah, those are big on my day one PO list, but no, for Sideshow, definitely the quarter scale villains would be nice to see one. It was kind of amazing how kind of dull the Sideshow booth was at New York. That was really disappointing.
Yeah.
I don't understand they always at least have 2 or 3 pieces, that are new. There's just one new piece, right? And that was the Cyclops.
It was Cyclops, and
or maybe a Court of the Dead. Was there a Court of the Dead that was new? I think.
Yeah, the lady, I can't say her name.
Yeah,
Ileandra or whatever.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know she was new. Well, I don't know. I thought I was disappointed. I mean, I honestly, talked to a lot of people about it. I don't understand it. You've got almost 200,000 people going through there. I don't understand how it's less important than San Diego in terms of what kind of presence they put in front of that audience. I don't get it at all.
Well, it makes you wonder if maybe some of the pieces they're not selling anymore like they used to be because of the prices. And so maybe their focus is to try to promote those ones that they already have out.
Yeah.
Either on pre-order or coming out, or that's already out or coming out on pre-order soon. I guess that would make sense to me, but I was shocked. I couldn't believe it.
Hey, Chris, do you have any insight why it is taking so long for a company to come out with some key Batman villains in the quarter scale? I mean, there's just no logical reason in my mind why we're not having Penguin or Riddler and pieces like that when there's 9 different Jokers you can pick.
Yep.
And 25 Batmans.
I've been asking that for years. I mean, and people would love obscure characters like Ra's al Ghul or
Clayface,
or Doctor Strange. Any of those characters, I mean, I would love. But I think really at the end of the day, it comes down to, and maybe they look at other toy genres to see how those characters sell. You're guaranteed that you're going to sell a Batman and a Joker. I mean, those are, and a Harley Quinn. Harley's probably maybe even more popular than Joker at this point. But I feel like with the Penguin, it's risky for them to pay the licensor and pay the factories and say, okay, well, how many Penguins do you think we're going to sell? I think it's the same issue with Prime 1. I have been, along with Thomas Nielsen, probably the 2 biggest advocates to complete the Arkham line, to give us the Penguin, to give us a Poison Ivy. And there was other like Firefly and other characters that we really, really wanted from the game. And basically, Prime 1 is not, without saying it and I have some inside information, but basically they just didn't sell. And they put a lot of money and effort, and they were hoping that they would sell. And obviously, if they did, they would continue making those characters and churning them out. But I'm guessing that the fact that Sideshow has not done a Penguin, a Riddler, just these household names. I'm guessing it really just comes down to how many units they think that they'll actually sell. They still like Killer Croc. I love this piece. I know not everybody does behind me. It's still readily available. Bane is still available on Sideshow, which is crazy to me. I mean, it's one of my favorite premium formats. So I think that even characters like that, Bane, I feel like is probably more well known than Killer Croc. But I feel like because these guys, on both sides of my head here are still on the shelves at Sideshow, they're probably really reluctant. I would also guess, though, that Mr. Freeze, I don't know about Catwoman, but I'm guessing that Mr. Freeze must have sold pretty well for them to do Scarecrow.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like there might be kind of a new upswing. I also feel like with that art print, I think there's a good chance that we are going to see a Penguin, possibly a Clayface, possibly a Riddler. I don't remember if was there a Man-Bat, maybe two. I could see them finishing that poster out, and that's my dream. That's why I started this. This is what started it all for me, is the reason, because I thought they would do all the villains, and then they kind of stopped there for 2 years, and we were getting like Batwoman. We weren't getting any of the other villains.
Yeah.
Because obviously the women's statues were selling probably like hotcakes, and the male statues weren't. But yeah, to me, it's a no-brainer because everybody knows those villains. It's the best, I would say the best rogues gallery period, other than Spider-Man. There is. So I don't know. Sideshow, if you're watching, we would love to see them. I would buy them. I would buy day one. So I don't know.
Oh, they're always watching. I was told that in New York.
Yeah.
Well, there you go.
They are always watching. So do you guys think that, when they have a license to create these characters, when they have like a DC license for, say, Batman, do they have a license to make every single character, or is it just something that do they have like a certain amount that they can make?
I think I've been told it's based on per character. And
Yes.
There's just, whenever we had Chad from Tweeterhead on, the knowledge he dropped that night, I can't remember either one of you guys on the show that night. I can't remember, but were you on there, Mac?
I don't think I was. No,
I wasn't.
Okay. He just, he spent 2 hours dropping tremendous amount of behind the scenes knowledge about how the statue industry works and how much cost goes into it. We always think, oh my God, the prices are so high, but there's a tremendous amount of cost on the other side, from packaging to, what the factories demand, because there's only so many factories, so they can demand whatever they want. And there's factories that are good and factories that are bad. So it's really interesting on that side of things. But I think that, Sideshow, they have a license. I'm sure that there's an expectation. If DC says, okay, we want you to make, we're going to give you the power to make a Penguin. So some of that might be Warner Brothers. Some of that might be DC that says, these are the characters we want you to make. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's a lot more into it that we don't know. But I'm sure there's a lot of artists there that want to make those characters and maybe can't because of, all of those issues.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. Regardless of all that, I still hope for some more DC villains. I'm hoping we have some. When is it that we get the most reveals, though? Is that Christmas time? The 12 days of Christmas, or 12 days of Sideshow?
Yeah, typically we get a few surprises in there.
So I could see them doing maybe a little bit more for that. But I do feel like just premium format overall, I feel like they've really slowed down. You just don't see near as many being previewed or released as there used to be. And that probably has to do with quality control. They were getting kind of dinged there for a while. People were complaining, but I feel like it's gotten better. And I think like even Prime 1, I feel like they were really pumping everything out, preview. And then they got really, really behind. Although, like I was telling you guys before the show, Huntress was due out in April, and she shipped yesterday. So I don't, and it takes like 2 months to get it from on the boat. So it's pretty crazy, but I'm hoping we get some cool reveals from it. It's pretty cool. Anything else you guys want to add about Spooktacular before we move on?
I just don't want to see anything that I have to buy. Really, I was just saying.
Yeah,
I'd like to not spend any money for Spooktacular this year.
So, and for those of you that might not be familiar out there about Spooktacular, a lot of times they put stuff on sale that's been on their site for a long time. So you can get some good deals. Thor at Darth Castle always says patience is the best, key to this hobby. And he's not wrong, because sometimes you can be patient and wait and get really good deals. Some people say, they're stuff that no one wants. And so, that's what they're putting on sale. But there are some like really good, like sometimes they'll have like Prime 1 stuff with like $75 off and free US shipping. I mean, my Huntress cost me $60 yesterday to ship. So
yeah, that's awesome.
If you could save $60 and 75 on top of that, do it, because it's, that's a really good deal. Of course, Sideshow is not, as far as I know, not working with Prime 1 anymore. So those kind of deals might be few and far between, but I have seen them take, $50, $60 off of premium formats before. So anyway, stay tuned for, I think that starts tomorrow, right? I believe Spooktacular, if I remember right.
It's either, I can't remember the exact date, but
it's either tomorrow or Friday. It's like the week before Halloween. So
yeah. So again, visit my group, Batman Statue Collector Brotherhood of the Bat. Visit the Darth Castle. It's DCX now, and that's Darth Castle and X-Men together. And then also the Sideshow, Electric Geek Sideshow group. All of those groups. There's a post about getting added to a list to get those codes. So even if you don't participate in anything else, getting the codes is great, because it's free money, even if it's $2 or $3 at a time. But somebody posted in my group today that they said that like over the last couple of years, they've still gotten like $200, $300 worth of credit. So, and they do it all the time. They don't do it just during like business hours. They do it at 2 a.m. So Mr. X, when he's editing in the middle of the night tonight, you'll be able to get some codes, maybe. That'd be all right. It'd be all right. You guys want to look at pictures real quick?
Yeah.
Don't have a ton, but I'll show you kind of what we got. All right, let me make sure I don't have any banners in the way this week. See what you guys think about a couple of these things here. Well, this was kind of a surprise. This is a bust. It's 1/3 scale Wonder Woman. Did you guys see this one this week?
Yeah, it's a great looking bust.
Yeah, it does look good.
They also have a Wolverine bust, and also what was the other one? Deadpool.
Yeah.
And these are all 1/3 scale, which is something new for Sideshow. They have done half scale busts before. But I don't know about you guys, but I feel like these are better than their premium formats.
Yeah, I would say so for sure.
I love all three of them. I think they're really great. I just feel like the sculpt is phenomenal. Is this something any of you guys would get?
If I was into collecting bust, I wouldn't mind having it. But since I'm not really a bust collector currently, it's out of the cards for me.
Yeah, I don't think as much as I like it, I love the portrait on her. I think she looks outstanding. The pose is cool, especially for a bust.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. I've tried to be pretty choosy about kind of the smalls that even though I guess she's 3rd scale, but the smaller pieces that I'm putting in the collection. I've got the only smalls I've really kind of hung on to are the black and whites, which I really like the Batman black and whites. Chris, you and I were talking about that.
Yes.
Chat earlier, and I kind of underestimated. I've got like 15 of them. I think I told you 10, but and I'll continue to get those. I like putting them. I've got a bunch of books, absolutes, and omnibus, and that kind of stuff. and I just kind of like putting them on those shelves with those books. I think they make nice accent pieces. And the other thing I like about them being black and white is they don't detract. I don't feel, there's not a ton of color on the shelves that are detracting from the bigger pieces, but I don't know how these busts would fit, quite frankly, into my collection, which is the only reason I'd stay clear. But
well, speaking of your black and whites, you are going to be doing a new series for the channel, so I'm really excited about that. So you guys stay tuned for that. Something a little different. I'm really excited about it. One thing I thought about with this piece is like, me collecting a lot of 1/3, let's say comic books pieces, and I don't really want a whole 1/3 scale Wonder Woman. This could add to that. If you have a bunch of 1/3s, and this is like what, $250, so it's a great price point. For the scale. I'm just amazed by the price. I figured it'd actually be more.
Yeah, it's a good price.
But how about you, Mr. X? Is this something you would ever buy?
No, not because it looks great. I wouldn't buy it just because the only busts I have are full size, so it just doesn't go with my collection. Like, I love that Wolverine like most people did, but the fact he didn't have legs is just no.
Yeah, he should have had legs.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Let's see. What else do we got here? Sorry, I guess I had more pictures than I thought. Let's see. This one I just threw in here because they updated this maquette. This is a Spider-Man and Mary Jane maquette, and a lot of people were trashing the Peter Parker portrait, and they've improved him and kind of changed Mary Jane's eyes a little bit. So I just wanted to update you if that's a piece that you hadn't seen updated. I think this is a really cool piece. I know it's a smaller piece, but I really like it.
Yeah, they did a really nice job fixing his portrait because it did not look good, or at least in my eyes, it didn't look good before.
It was bad.
Yeah, it was really bad. And I'm sure. I mean, I have a hard time believing that J. Scott Campbell let that fly.
Yeah,
I know he's pretty particular. I've actually had the opportunity to talk to him. And he's a real particular guy. And when I talked to him, it was in the context of one of his other pieces with Sideshow. And he is extremely particular. So I can't believe he let that first one even go up as a prototype.
Well, it's good to have a guy like that around then.
Yeah, right.
The statue's going to end up nice. That's for sure.
Yeah.
So here's my problem with the piece. I really enjoy the piece. But you know how sometimes you get an idea in your head and you can't get rid of it and you can never look at the piece the same way?
Yep.
Who is he posing? They're obviously posing for someone, like taking their photo. In what world would Spider-Man lift up his mask and pose a photo with Mary Jane? Is it a Christmas card they're sending out?
It's a good point.
This makes no sense to me at all. It's a museum pose, a photo pose, and he lifts up his mask. So I just can't get past that part of it. Otherwise, I really like it because it's kind of a throne, and I'm a big throne guy. But yeah, so that ruined it for me.
It's a good point. Do you think there'll be like a second head sculpt with his mask down?
Well, even with that, I mean, then it looks like he's choking Mary Jane and she's trying to stop him.
That's right.
So
That's true.
The whole concept kind of, I know what they tried to do, but for me, I just can't unsee that.
Yeah, good point. Let's see.
Yeah.
I threw this in. This is just an art print. I thought it was kind of cool. Kind of harkening back to Flashpoint a little bit to me. I feel like it looks kind of that way. But kind of a cool print. And that's going to be up for pre-order, I think, Friday maybe. But cool. I like that print.
That's cool.
This was revealed at the Prime 1 exhibition. This is a half-scale Terminator. What do you guys think about? What do you guys think about the face here?
I think this is like the CGI version of him in the most recent one, not Dark Fate.
Yes.
Yeah.
But when old Arnold goes to kill, I thought the scene was fantastic.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's not Arnold.
Yeah.
Yeah, the face needs to be tweaked a bit, but I like
especially.
Go ahead.
It's going to be $2,000 minimum.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh yeah, I bet 2,500.
Yeah, I would say that for sure.
Because my Joker was $2,000, and that was 3 years ago.
Yeah,
it's got to be.
Looks like he's wearing doll clothes to me too. Like, why are his clothes so perfect? He looks like a Ken doll. Like if you told me that's a 12-inch doll right there, he looks like a Ken doll that you dress up.
And you kind of felt that same way about the Queen Studios Joker, right? Where it
Oh my
was
God.
too clean, it just wasn't tailored very well.
It was, the tailoring was terrible. They shouldn't have put that out. For me. I didn't think the tailoring was good at all. I didn't think that the effects on the tailoring in terms of any weathering or damage or, I just didn't. I thought it looked like a doll too. But
is this Prime One's first attempt at hair? Real hair? I can't remember them doing a piece. They've had fur elements and things, but I don't remember them having a hair like this. So that's something new for them too.
Yeah, the only thing that comes to mind with me and then with something with like I guess fur or hair would be that yeah, I'm not sure what that noise is.
Hold on just a second.
We good?
Maybe someone was taking a shower.
Oh yeah, so Chris had to jump. So yeah, I was gonna say that only thing that reminds me of is that Nosferatu Zod, that piece that has like the fur around like his neck.
Yeah. Yep.
That like kind of reminds me of that. I know I really like that piece too.
Yep. Yeah, that was a good one.
So we have now taken over the Batcave.
We have. It's official.
So each of us is secretly a Batman villain. Who would each of us be?
Ooh, that's a good one. Let me think about it. Hold on.
I give Dan Riddler. I think Dan's, kind of conniving. He's highly intelligent.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think I would have picked Riddler.
Yeah.
Mac, what about you?
I think I'd probably pick Two-Face.
Two-Face.
You're Two-Face? All right.
Yeah, that's what I'd pick.
By the way,
I've always liked him. I just think he's interesting,
I did want to say, when we were talking about our significant others supporting the hobby, she films your reviews for you, Mac. That means she's supportive.
Yeah. She helps me film most of them. Sometimes she doesn't do a lot of them. You can sometimes tell the difference between the two, but I just try to stay on her good side so that way she continues to, help.
Yeah.
Speaking of filming reviews, Mr. X, I don't know if you've looked at this toy. I just went to grab it from my desk. This is the Osmo Mobile 3 combo handheld.
So that's the new one, yeah.
Gyro kind of unit.
Yep. So I have a different one that I bought. I don't know why I bought it. I don't know why I buy anything I buy. I never use it. I have a so watch this fanciness. You guys ready for this?
Yeah, let's see it. All
right, you ready? Ooh. We can switch back and forth. I have multiple cameras on me.
Is that a phone? Is it a phone?
No. So this is a camcorder.
Okay.
4K camcorder that I use to shoot my reviews. It stays stationary.
Yeah.
And then this is actually my MacBook right here.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And then I have a Nikon for my pics. And then, of course, I'm like always everything going on. And my watch actually controls like my surround sound in my house. Nice. And my security system. I'm very high tech. Like I said, I'm very multifunctioning.
Man, you are high tech.
I love that shit. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm the same way. So I am going to. So I am. I haven't done much video for YouTube. I had offered to Chris just because I think it'll be a ton of fun to do videos for the channel. But I am going to iPad Pro 12.9 inch. I'm going to do all my video editing on that with LumaFusion.
Yes. Yep.
That tool is awesome.
Yep.
Super easy. Airdropping video from this is a 10 Max, 10X XS Max to that. Awesome. Oh, but what I was going to say about this Osmo Mobile 3, this thing will track with you. So you can walk around and, you may be able to give Lady Mac a break and have the Osmo track you.
I have the Osmo too.
Okay.
So I use that when I'm at like cons and just filming for myself in general. And I try to use it when I'm shooting if I have to do it like by myself. But she likes to just use just a standard gimbal. So but I do use that when I shot the New York Comic-Con videos. I shot all of that on the Osmo too. Yep.
I chickened out. I didn't bring mine with me. I used a one of those Gorilla things, mini tripod. I used one. I just chickened out because I couldn't get used to the gimbal. I bought it right before, and I just couldn't get used to it.
Yeah. So the thing that I try to do is I actually just freehand it, so that way I don't have to plug it in and use the. I don't use the DJI app.
Oh, you don't?
No, I don't. So I use mine. It's just I just do it. I control it all, so that way I don't have to worry about it, doing its own thing.
So you're doing it with your other hand on the phone.
So if I have so I'll have the Osmo,
right,
and I'll just be controlling it using the directional control knob, and actually making it do what it's supposed to do, for what I need it to do.
Gotcha.
Yep.
Sorry about that.
Hey, Chris.
Hey, can you hear me? Sorry about that, guys.
Yeah, something happened. I don't know what happened.
I don't know. Something happened where I lost everything. So I apologize. Thank you guys for taking over the show. I guess you still hear what you guys were saying, but I couldn't get logged back in. It wouldn't accept my camera. It wouldn't accept my Yeti. I don't know what was going on, but
you know what? You know what it was? It was the FBI.
Yes, it was. They're always watching.
Yeah, they're always watching.
Disney heard me say custom earlier.
It was Sideshow. It was Sideshow starting the ban process. Chris, watch out.
That's step one.
Yep, step one.
All right.
Mr. X never told us what Batman villain he would be.
I picked your guys's. You got to pick mine. I didn't pick Max, but
yeah. So we got to pick yours.
Don't say Harley Quinn. That would be rude.
No, I wasn't gonna say that. I would say, oh man,
see, it's hard.
It is hard.
That's what she said.
Yeah.
The ventriloquist.
Yeah.
Ooh, so you like this story? I just recently I don't say that's what she said too often in real life. It was just something I started with the channel, and the last 2 weeks I've started saying it in front of my kids, who obviously have no idea what it means. My son, my 7-year-old son, dropped it in front of my wife the other day. It was the greatest moment of my life. But
that is pretty funny. That is pretty funny.
All right.
I'm still trying to think of X's villain, man. I'm having a hard time.
Batman villain?
Yeah. Like who would he be?
Got to be somebody cunning.
Yeah.
Could be the Riddler.
No, Dan's the Riddler.
Yeah, but Dan's the Riddler.
Sorry, I missed that part. So Dan's the Riddler.
Mac is Two-Face.
Okay, I could see that.
Because I don't like to show my face.
Well, even right now, you're like half in shadow.
I was just gonna say he's half in the light.
Yeah. No, it works. It works for you. I like it.
I did it on
the dark side of Mac. I like it. I like it. Let's see. Yeah, I can maybe Bane.
Oh yeah.
No, I'm not that big.
You are pretty big though.
No, you are much taller than we thought, though.
Yeah. Oh my god! So, so I know how tall I am because I've lived with it for 40 years. But every single person, I heard it at least 120 times at New York. You're taller than I thought.
How tall?
Every single person, including you, Dan and Mac.
I know.
Yeah, Mr. X is tall. The chat saying Mad Hatter.
Oh, okay. Mad Hatter could be good. I was almost thinking like Calendar Man too.
Yeah.
Somebody like that. That's real cerebral.
Mad Hatter is really good.
Yeah, Mad Hatter's good. That's good. How tall are you, John?
I'm 6'3".
Oh wow. So I'm 6'2".
Yeah, he's tall.
Okay.
He's
And you're tall, Mac.
No, Matt was like 5'7"?
Yeah, I'm 5'3".
There's no way.
I'm 5'3". Yeah, that's the whole thing. Everybody just knows me as being 5'3". I'm very short. That's what the running gag is, that whenever anybody sees me, I'm very short.
Huh, well, there you go. I'm always amazed. It seems like a lot of people. PJ's real tall too, right? I've not met PJ, but and Atem's tall.
Yeah. Attention.
Yeah.
Everybody's tall except for me.
Ryan is a giant.
Ryan's tall.
Yeah, Ryan's up there with Mr. X in height.
Yeah, I'm 6'2", so you tower over me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Crazy. That's crazy. All right, let's finish these pictures real quick. Let's see.
I used to be tall, and then I had a son who's 6'6".
Oh yeah, that's huge.
My 11-year-old is taller than my wife.
Really?
Yeah.
It's always crazy when that happens, right?
Yeah.
This is a Predator from Prime 1 that revealed this week also. What do you guys think of this one?
I am getting this bad boy. I didn't like him in the movie. I didn't like the character. I didn't like the CGI, but I think the statue looks great.
It does. Colors on him look really good.
Yeah, that thing is. They're doing a really good job with the Predator statues.
Is this third scale?
Quarter, but it's still huge because this is the ultimate Predator. So
Okay.
my guess is he's probably 31 to 35 inches.
Wow. Does this guy come with him? Is this like a side piece to him?
With Prime 1's prices lately, I'm guessing it's an additional charge.
Yeah, I guess.
For $700.
Yeah.
Yeah, remember the dolphins on Lobo?
Yep. But I do like that they offer that as a separate charge instead of charging you just more, if you don't want it.
Yeah, like the tree on the last Predator.
Yes.
I love that
crazy.
tree.
Yeah, the tree's cool.
Oh, I bought it.
Yeah. That's cool.
X, are you getting the one that mounts on the wall? Is it the city?
Yeah, the City Hunter. So I have Sideshow's old maquette. I'll actually sell that when I get that.
Gotcha. That's a cool piece.
It is a cool piece. This one's cool too.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Kind of, you can see the height of it compared to Wonderfest.
Nothing beats the one that's been over though. That's my favorite.
Yeah, this one's awesome.
Yep.
That's really cool. This one's cool, but it's kind of stiff.
Yep.
But
so is this two separate pieces, one bent over and one standing straight? I never got clarification on that.
Yeah.
They're two separate pieces.
Okay.
Let's see what else we got here.
That dog Predator that you did the review on is freaking awesome.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they do a good job with the aliens too.
They do. I just threw this one in because it's Poison Ivy's in production, so that means probably within the next 3 or 4 months we'll be getting her in. So I know a lot of people are excited about her.
Yeah. I have that on PO, but I'm not sure if I want to keep it or not.
Really?
Yeah.
What's holding you back?
It's just
size.
Just the size, and it's just huge. And I mean, I love it and all, but I just don't know. I don't know what I'm going to do because I jumped on the wait list, and I wasn't really expecting it to convert, and then it converted pretty quickly, and I was just like, well, shit. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah,
but I might cancel that.
You might regret it.
I know.
Chris, what was the yes of that? Do we know?
I
can look it up here.
I don't know. I feel like 750 is what comes to my mind, but I don't remember. I can't remember if that's
Chris, what's the shipping window? What quarter is she due?
I don't think I have my spreadsheet here.
I'm pulling it up I bought it through Prime 1, but on Sideshow. Oh, wow. The exclusive is 500. Collectors is 700. And they have it November and December.
Okay.
So that's cool. I wonder, So we saw a in production photo like this of Batman Who Laughs a few weeks ago, right?
I think he will come out before she does.
I think so too.
And I feel like she will be delayed. And I think that one will be delayed too, because it usually takes at least 4 or 5 weeks to get it here from China, I think, usually in general.
Oh, okay.
And so for those of you that order through Sideshow, I mean, they might be able to be on time for Prime 1, but Sideshow, I think, will be delayed.
Okay. So on Sideshow's website, Batman Who Laughs is January through March, interestingly enough.
Huh.
It just seems like for some reason, like we were talking about before the show about that Batman Hush, the black version, like it, it's already out to some collectors over there. And so that one it's been only up on pre-order for a month or so. And so I don't know if maybe they've really started trying to hack away at these factories and trying to get some of these pieces out because there's such big delays. But a lot of it's been really surprising. I threw this one in. I thought it was pretty cool. It's a life-size Michael Myers bust. I thought it's cool for Halloween. No pun intended. But I thought this was cool.
Is that making its way into Mr. X's theater room?
No, I don't like it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's the perfect theme. So, but it doesn't look scary to me. It doesn't. Yeah. Michael Myers should be scary.
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah.
But I do feel like they captured the mask pretty well.
Yeah.
That's kind of hard for some people to do. Okay, this one I want to talk about. This one was just revealed. Well, we kind of had some teasers a while back, but this one's from Queen Studios. This is from Justice League. I know it's not everybody's favorite bat suit, but I do feel like it's a really cool statue. This is a bust. I'm assuming it's going to be well over $2,000. And people are already concerned about the base, being able to be supported. But the great thing about Queen Studios is they've really been listening to feedback. And I don't know, have you guys seen this one, and what do you think of it?
So I haven't seen it until now. I like it a lot better than Infinity Studios.
I do too.
I think it's pretty good.
Just went up. What's interesting too? I spent a lot of time in New York talking to the Queen Studios guys. I kept going back to their booth. These are really humble guys. I was really, really impressed with them. I mean, and they comment on all my Queen Studios YouTube videos. They take feedback, as you guys know. Look at what they did with Wonder Woman. Mm-hmm. And I was just, I mean, they're not about the money right now, which hopefully they don't get to that. They're really about the passion and putting out a good product.
Yeah, I saw that with the Joker, and I know that they don't like to talk about it, but I feel like that's kind of what put them on the map, along with that Wolverine, and to get recognized. And I feel like they're really going to just skyrocket here, because I feel like they are doing a really good job of listening to feedback, and that's important, because they're listening to what the fans want, because they want to sell these things. They want it to be popular and do well. John, do you have a bunch of these on pre-order, or where are you at with the bus? Because I'm kind of thinking of the same thing. I really like all of them.
So I nabbed the Infinity Studios Wonder Woman. I wasn't sure if I wanted it, but I had an inkling it would go super fast, so I bought it from Todd when it went up for PO.
Yep.
And then when Queen Studios made the adjustments on theirs, I actually like theirs better. So I don't know if I'm going to keep both of them, but I also have the Queen Studios Thanos and Loki coming, and maybe one more I'm not thinking of.
Nice.
Yep.
Now this is one I'm definitely considering. I have, I talked to them early on, kind of behind the scenes, and I know that there are big plans. There's a lot of characters they want to pursue that I would be incredibly interested in. That's all I'll say about that. If you know my channel, you'll probably be able to figure it out. But I'm really excited about the possibilities of these busts. I know they're incredibly expensive, and I know people worry about the silicone. But even if it lasts 20, 30 years, it's still, you're going to enjoy it for a long time. But I do feel like these are just incredible, and I'm really impressed with what I see here. Let's see.
And actually, so that the Terminator review I just did, they actually commented on it because I said in the video, I don't know how long the medical silicone lasts. They actually commented it's rated for 30 years before it starts deteriorating.
Okay.
Yeah, that's cool.
And I would assume as long as you keep it in, you know, no sunlight in a cool room, I think you'll probably get it to last longer than that. Would be my guess. But
well, in 30 years, I'll be like, 70, so I'll be okay.
That's right. That's right. For us 40-year-olds, we're going to be fine.
Yeah.
This one was it just went up for pre-order this week also. This is the Justice League from Infinity Studio. I really like this one, but I don't like the suit. I'm just not a fan of the suit. And what do you guys feel about like calling this a bust? It's mostly a torso. So what do you guys feel about more of just the shoulders and head versus whenever you have the arms like this?
I like the fact it's different.
I think.
Go ahead, Mac.
No, I was going to say that I like the fact that it's different too, and it kind of gives somebody that may want a little bit more than like a bust to have something else displayed, which they have that. So I think it's cool just because of that aspect. But I wouldn't. I mean, for me, I wouldn't. It's not for me, but I just think it's cool for somebody else.
Yeah, I really like the pose. I think it's a good pose.
Yeah, I agree. That to me, that's the compelling part of it. I mean, the portrait looks great, at least in these pictures, and the pose is awesome. I think make an awesome bookend, on either side of a big screen. Soups on one side and this on the other. Yeah, I think it's cool.
So is that half scale?
It's full 1-to-1.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
So that's huge. Yeah,
huge. 1-to-1. Big piece.
Yeah, that's big.
I threw this picture, and I thought this was a cool picture. It's a Shockwave, what's being offered from Prime 1. Cool piece.
Yeah, classic. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. It's one of my favorites when I was a kid. I love this character.
So that means you're going to get it.
Nah. Now, I tell you, this piece right here is one I considered breaking my rule for.
Yeah, that thing is awesome. I love the base.
I love the pose, and I love the base.
Yep.
And you guys saw it in person,
Yeah.
It looks so cool.
Yeah, that statue is awesome.
And honestly, Chris, it looks better in person.
That's
the
awesome.
textures and what they did with the contrasting levels of like that base is super glossy, kind of wet looking in person. And then you've got, some of his suit looks like satin. Some of it looks matte. It's just really well done. And the texture, the detail in the texture is awesome. Yeah, it's a really good statue. And the size is really nice too. It's a 3rd scale, but I don't know, at least in the case when we saw it there, it wasn't like overpowering or anything.
Yeah, it seemed like it wasn't big, like massive. Like it wasn't.
So I actually going to speak to that. Years and years ago, I actually sold big screen TVs back in the day when high definition was first coming out, and it was the old CRT tubes.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And it was in a huge display room. It was a high-end electronics store. And everybody would come in and they'd want, a 65-inch. And then I'd ask, we'd do diagrams. It was high-end stuff. And we'd do diagrams of their rooms. And I would tell them, you need a 50-inch. And they're like, no, this is, and I go, when you get this home, it'll look 10 times bigger. And honestly, I think that's the same case with this guy. I think, to Dan's point, he didn't look too big there, but that was in a space that's bigger than the Xcave, I think when you pull this guy into your house, I think he's going to be monstrous.
It's awesome.
Just my opinion.
Did any of you guys pick this one up?
No, he looks amazing though. I mean,
yeah, he does look amazing. I haven't.
He's cool. I like him.
What's the price on it?
It just went up this week, I think.
It did. I feel like it was over 1,000.
Oh wow!
But I could be wrong. Maybe it's 900. Maybe I feel like it was over 1,000.
It is 1,100.
Oh yeah.
Yep. Kind of the going rate for 1/3 right now, give or take. Thanks for looking that up. This is another one that went up for pre-order this week. The Superman Dark Knight Returns, 1/3 scale. This piece is massive. It's actually bigger than the Bane. Which is crazy. What do you guys think of this one?
I like the piece. I just don't really know if I like the head sculpt.
Yeah.
That much, but I think it looks, like I can't get something about his face.
Yeah.
Ever since I heard Ronald Reagan,
that's what I said.
that's all. That's literally all I see. But I mean, the overall concept of the piece. I love the suit and everything else about it, but they'd have to switch those head sculpts up.
And I don't feel like it compares to the Hush.
No, I don't believe. No,
not even in the same league. I agree. The suit looks fantastic. Like Max said, same comments on the head sculpt. And I know it's I know it's based off the Frank Miller stuff, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And so I understand the pose, but it's just ugly to me, the pose.
Yeah.
I mean, when does Superman have to lumber around? I would fly everywhere.
How old is he supposed to be in that? I mean, he's an aged Superman, I guess, but it's at the same time, it's just. And I also, I don't know. I saw some pictures of him next to the Dark Knight 3, which I really like. I have that one on pre-order, at least currently. But I don't feel like the scale. I feel like they don't really match up size-wise. I feel like Batman looks smaller compared to him. I feel like he's oversized, but hopefully that'll be different when people start getting them in hand. I don't know, but. Well, we've rambled on pretty long. Do you guys want to talk about Joker or not, or do you guys want to just skip it for this week and end things for tonight? What do you guys want to do?
Who else did it? So everybody here seen it?
We've seen it, but I saw quite a few people, Chris, in the Facebook group today saying they hadn't seen it yet.
Okay,
I haven't seen it.
Maybe we should wait then. I know, Lawrence had seen it. He had a family emergency tonight. He was supposed to be on, and a couple other people hadn't seen it either, so they decided not to be on tonight as well. So let's wait. Let's wait till the next one. Okay. Sorry if you guys tuned in for that. I do apologize, but I'm glad we talked about the other stuff that we talked about. So that was really fun.
I would like to, real quick, I would like to say anybody that is on the fence about going to go see it, that is listening to people say that it's not a good movie, I think they're wrong. So if you had any doubts on checking out that movie, I definitely think that you should. To me, I really liked it. So that's what I'm going to leave it at. Go see it. That's my opinion.
I'll piggyback on that. I feel like it was a near masterpiece. It is not only beautifully shot. If you guys saw my review, my reaction, the crazy thing is I watched that movie literally, and I took it as everything literally happening. Mm-hmm. And then since then, and watching other people's comments and thoughts, there's so many more parts to that film that I missed. And I'm really anxious to talk about it because there's so many things we don't know what's real, what's not. And like Max said, go see this film. People are worried about the violence part of it. There is some violence, and the violence in it is somewhat shocking, but it's not near as much violence as like a Deadpool or any of those type of films or John Wick. Right. There's very few deaths in this movie. So it's one of those things where it's just that descent into madness. It's madness. Yeah. It's more of a character study film. There are nods to Batman, which I love. There's like little Easter eggs. Mm-hmm. Could definitely set up into a future universe or not. It's kind of whatever they want to do with it. There's been rumors today that they're already maybe talking about pre-production for the second one. I hope it's not true. I hope this is a standalone, just it is what it is. Because like I said, to me, it's a near masterpiece. I love it. Dan, did you feel the same way? Did you love it?
Yeah, it was, you hear all the buzz going into it. And for me, it was almost shockingly good.
Yes.
From, different dimensions that you don't expect. And I won't go any further than just to say that. Whether or not it could, stand alone or could tie in, I don't know. Kind of depends on what they have in mind going forward for, I guess particularly the Batman. But yeah, it's for me, I expected it to be good. I didn't expect it to be good across so many different dimensions.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And Mr. X, I know you have not seen it yet, so please go see it. I think you're really going to enjoy it. Don't take your kids.
Yeah.
They will not like it. But if you're an adult, you're going to enjoy it, I think. And before we leave, you brought up the Batman. What do you guys think of the casting? They announced Zoe Kravitz or Zoe Kravitz. I'm not sure. Zoe, I think is her name, as Catwoman. Also, I can't think of the actor's name. They just announced Riddler as well. Are you guys kind of happy with the casting, or some people are kind of up and down about it?
I haven't really. I haven't seen too much besides I think knowing about I think it was Zazie Beetz or somebody, whoever Kravitz was, that was going to be Catwoman. I don't really know too much. I haven't seen that anything else besides her as far as the cat casting on it. So I can't really speak too much on it.
One fun fact about that is actually she did the voice of Catwoman in the Lego Batman movie.
No way.
Yeah.
Well, that's pretty cool.
That's kind of neat, actually.
That's very cool.
Yeah.
Well, what was interesting to me is I don't know if you guys know, she's Aquaman's stepdaughter.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That is cool.
So he's married to Lisa Bonet, which I never knew until I watched the behind the scenes of the Aquaman movie. And she's like 20 years his senior, interestingly enough. So she's probably at this same age as Kravitz is probably the same age as her stepfather.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Kind of interesting.
Mm-hmm. It is.
But I wonder if that had anything to play with him getting her an audition in the DC world, you know?
I bet it probably did.
Yep.
I bet it probably did. The cool thing is, and the rumor is about this film, is it's supposed to potentially be based on The Long Halloween, which is my favorite Batman story. It involves over a year of a serial killer killing on holidays, and it involves all of the Batman villains. And everything we're hearing about this film is that it's going to be a detective story. And some of the casting is a little iffy, but I'm optimistic it's going to be really good. It's supposed to be like a dark film noir, which I love. So I'm hoping it's good. Dan, what do you think about the casting?
I'm calling it now. Pattinson's going to be awesome.
Okay, good. I like that.
I'm telling you, I'm calling it now. If anybody doubts, watch some of the lesser known stuff. Don't think about the Twilight piece. Think about other films he's done. Most recently, he did a film called The Lighthouse with Willem Dafoe, and it's freaking awesome.
Did you see it? I just saw the preview.
Gravitas on film. He does.
That's cool. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yep. So if they get the physicality right and the other, the Batman elements, I think from a character, from him being able to carry that load, I think he's going to do great.
Yeah, I'm with you too, Dan.
He said in a recent interview that he wants it to be like, he doesn't want Batman to be a hero. He wants it to be dark and gritty, which I love. I cannot wait. And, if they're kind of going off this Joker tone, which is funny that they're going to go dark and gritty when that's what the Snyder cut was, So it'll be interesting if that comes full circle. But I feel like it's going to be that going forward, because obviously Joker's, did it just cross like $800 million or something like that this week? I think the highest or the most money any R-rated film's ever made. So pretty crazy. So again, if you haven't seen it, go see the Joker. Thank you guys for being in the Rogues Gallery tonight. Mr. X, thank you so much. I'm glad we finally got you on the channel. I'd love to have you back again if you're ever interested. Much success to your channel. Again, the Xtreme Collectibles channel on YouTube. Check him out. Check out Matt Collections on YouTube as well. Amazing reviewers in this panel right here. And Dan's the newcomer reviewer, so we're really excited. He's going to be doing all kinds of content for us, so we're really excited about all of that, and we have some cool things planned. So thanks everybody that's been in the chat. Thank you guys for running the show, and we had issues tonight, but thank you for sticking with us. And we'll be back in a couple weeks for a brand new Rogues Gallery episode number 23. As always, thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you in the Batcave. Bye, everybody.
Awesome. See you guys.
Good night.